Welcome back, everyone, to Getting In, a College Coach Conversation. I am very excited to welcome my colleague, Becky Leichtling, who I don't believe has ever guested on the show when I have hosted, which is crazy to me. So I'm very excited that you're here today. You are not only my current colleague at College Coach, but you're also a former admissions officer from Tufts University. Welcome.
Thank you, Beth. I'm so happy to be on the pod today with you for my first time.
Yeah, I love it. All right. We are talking about stuff that should be top of mind for all current seniors, and certainly things that our students who are younger and their parents should probably be kind of starting to put into their brain. And that is all of these different abbreviations for important, some of them are abbreviations, not all of them are, but for important deadlines, and understanding what they all mean and how they might impact your decisions as you think about where you're going to apply and when you're going to apply. So first thing, rolling admissions. What is important about rolling and what does it mean?
So rolling admission is my favorite type of college admissions plan.
Me too, actually, yes.
They read applications as they come in, and then they give you an answer. What a concept. The reason this is really helpful is that it takes away so much of the stress of waiting. And this is universally valuable, right? Like you apply somewhere, you want to know if you get in or not.
Right.
But also if you are a student or a parent who is carrying a lot of stress about the application process and what are the outcomes going to be? Where's my kid going to get in? Apply somewhere rolling now. Get that yes in a couple weeks and sleep easy. Your kid's going to college.
Right.
And, I just feel like there's a lot of awesome schools out there that do this. I think a lot of the schools that have rolling admission tend to be kind of big state public universities. ASU has rolling, University of Arizona has rolling, Louisiana State, Oregon State, Pitt, lots of great choices wherever you're living, or if you want to go somewhere new, find your rolling school and get a yes soon.
Yes, love it. The only thing that I would throw out there is that for any school that offers rolling that's a little bit more selective, Pitt is one that I would point to. You want to get that application in sooner rather than later, because if they're reading and filling their class as they go, that means some slots are going to be done. And I think same, right, for some of those bigger schools, for more popular programs, they might fill up. So the sooner you do it, not only is it great because you get that answer, but also the better in terms of your chances of getting in are going to be better.
I think that's a really good point. And if you are surprised by the outcome or at the slowness of your response, let's say you apply to Pitt tomorrow and it's October 30th and you still haven't heard back, that's a helpful reality check or a touch point that, Pitt's a reach for me. And do I use that information to change the rest of my list? Right. So why not get some data now?
Yep, absolutely. Love it. Good point. All right, so let's move on to one of the big ones, and I'm going to put them together. Early decision and early decision 2, commonly referred to as ED and ED2. What should we know about these?
So this is a bigger beast to me because it does come with a commitment. In the application itself, the student, their parent or guardian, and their high school counselor all sign an agreement saying, this is a commitment that if the student is admitted to the school, then they guarantee that they will enroll within about a month of receiving their acceptance letter and withdraw all other applications.
Yes. Yeah.
And so this is a great choice if you have a top choice that is an academic, social, and financial fit. You can make that ED application a little bit earlier in the process. The decision will come back to you earlier in the process. And if it's good news, you're done. Get that sweatshirt, keep your grades up, but live the rest of senior year knowing what your plans are. If you're not admitted ED, also helpful data to have in hand.
Yes.
Maybe you were shooting in the wrong area and you can use that information to inform your list moving forward. But again, because you're making that commitment, ED is not an option if a big part of your college planning is to compare and contrast merit aid offers, because it's a commitment. You're promising to show up, and so you're removing any opportunity to negotiate or see what the options are.
Right, exactly. And ED2 is the same. It's just a slightly later deadline. So it is possible that if you had two top choices, one that was your top, and then your second choice, that you could do, and they both offered, or one of them offers ED and the other offers ED and ED2, you could apply to that top choice ED, get deferred or denied, and then switch and apply ED2 to another school. But the same caveats apply, right? It has to be a top choice. It has to be a financial, social, and academic fit, because it's the same binding process that ED1 is.
And I know we have a lot of good podcast episodes where we talk about ED and ED strategy there. So we don't have to go into that unless you want to, but I also think this is a great way to think about your family's risk tolerance as you are thinking about ED strategy. Applying ED benefits the college because they have a handle on their enrollment numbers, right? If they've got 1,000 beds for first-year students and they can admit a chunk of kids who are promising to show up, that helps them nail the head count. They're not worrying about shorting on tuition. They're not worrying about having too many bodies and having to find a hotel for first-year students. And so a lot of colleges that offer ED do have a little bit of advantage for students who apply via that pathway. But when you're trying to think about like how high to reach for your reaches, there's no right answer. And that's where it comes down to your risk tolerance. You can see every college has a different acceptance rate. If you love, medium-sized campuses in the city on the East Coast, and you're looking at Columbia and George Washington and Syracuse, all of which offer binding ED, you get to decide, do I shoot for Columbia with its 4% acceptance rate? Because what if, do I shoot for George Washington with that, 40%? What if Syracuse? What if? And the right choice for you is not just which is the best school for me, but also how comfortable am I taking my shot at ED, knowing the numbers are not in my favor?
The potentially first only shot for some schools, maybe two, but exactly. Totally agree. All right, let's talk about plain old early action. What is early action?
This, I think, is another great way to get information and to sleep easy this winter. Colleges that offer early action have a first round deadline. As long as you meet this deadline, we'll read your application first and we will send your decision first. Usually those decisions come back prior to winter vacation. So you can use that information to inform your January application deadlines. There are some colleges that don't get back to you until January or February and you've already applied everywhere else, but it is not binding at all. There's no commitment. You absolutely can wait until May to make your choice. You can compare merit offers, but you get that data earlier. Did you get in? Whew, sleep easy, get that sweatshirt. Did you not get in? And was that a surprise so that you can change the rest of your college list with confidence?
Right. Absolutely. Pretty straightforward. I am noticing that more and more schools, and usually it's the larger state schools that offer early action, are bleeding into January and February, which is a little frustrating. But for many, as you noted, it's going to be before Christmas, and that is amazing timing. Let's get into my less favorite. Well, actually,
wait.
What?
Asterisk, Beth. Here's the new trend: colleges that are offering both. They
Yes,
offer
that's
EA
true.
and ED.
Yes.
And Villanova does this, WPI does this, Baylor, Case Western, Drexel, Babs,
Tulane.
So there's a November 1st application deadline. You could apply early action or early decision, and you'll hear back soon. And I think the difference there is just, again, both of them give you helpful data. One of them is a commitment. One of them's not.
Yep.
One of them comes with an advantage in your outcomes.
Yes.
One doesn't, but both of them give you data sooner.
Right. Love it. Okay. So let's get into, there are two additional variations of early action. Restrictive early action, less of an issue from my perspective. Single choice early action, hate it with a passion. So talk to us about these two.
So all of these deadlines are tools that the colleges use to manage their flow, right? Like thousands of kids are applying to colleges. You've got 24 or 42 admissions staff members processing applications, it really does help if you can kind of chunk it out and manage that workflow. The colleges that are offering single choice or restricted early action are using that tool to parse out their workflow. They want to stay in the market with all the other colleges that are offering these deadlines. It is not binding. You're not signing a contract that you have to go.
Right.
What they're saying is you can't promise anybody else something better than what you're promising us.
Right.
So you can apply early action. You're not bound to us. You can still apply elsewhere. You can still compare offers, but you cannot apply ED somewhere else. You cannot apply restrictive early action somewhere else. We've got to be the biggest fish in your basket.
Right. Well, the single choice early action, it's even more confining, right? Like they're basically saying you could apply to your state school, but no, you may not apply early decision or early action to any private institution. They make little allowances like, oh, if there's a priority deadline for a scholarship, like, oh, boo-hoo, great, thanks, sorry, I'm just such not a fan. But you lay it out really well, like why the colleges do this. I think my challenge with the schools that offer the single choice early action, which are Stanford and Yale and Princeton, and I wrote it down, and Harvard, of course, how could I forget Harvard? That's actually hilarious. They are so difficult to get into. Their early action acceptance rates and their regular decision acceptance rates are very, very similar. And I see too many students foregoing strategic advantages for what they feel is this one great opportunity. And then, yeah, it bothers me because I think ultimately it's a bad strategic move often.
I think all of these choices, if early decision is in the mix with any of your colleges, there is always an opportunity cost. The opportunity cost, if you do apply ED and are admitted, huzzah, you won't get to compare merit offers.
Right.
That's a huge opportunity cost for some families. The opportunity cost is if you choose not to apply ED at colleges that offer you that option.
Yeah.
Then you're back of the line, kid. Regular decision. It's February. We're stressed. We're scrambled. Our class is almost full. You have chosen not to take advantage of a potential piece. So I'm with you that if you actually like a lot of different schools and you're in a position where you could think about an ED commitment somewhere, there is real advantage to doing so. Right. And instead doing that single choice, non-restrictive to Harvard or Yale, there's no advantage to that. It doesn't change your outcomes at all. Right. You are missing an opportunity somewhere else.
Right, exactly. And they will even say, if you be in our regular pool, they're very clear, this isn't an advantage. But students don't see it that way. And we should be clear that what we're really talking about here is the very, very, very tip-top, most selective schools in the country. And there are many schools where they might offer early decision, but you don't need to apply early decision to be a competitive applicant. So many schools, right? So less people walk away thinking it's got to be ED. I don't want that, but I'm hoping people are listening to what we're saying about, and I love that you're exactly right. It's an opportunity cost, and you really have to weigh the pros and the cons and make that call.
And also your risk tolerance, right? Like if your favorite school is a probable school, where numerically you're pretty darn likely to be admitted, you've got a really high risk tolerance with all these other things. Like if that doesn't work out, right, this is a great option. So there's really no pecking order. There's no right or wrong. It's just making sure that the choices you make this fall allow you to actually enroll next spring in schools you're excited about.
Yes, love it. Very quickly, 30 seconds. Priority deadlines. That's not really part of what we've been talking about, but this is something people should pay attention to. What can you tell us about those?
Priority deadlines are often for a specific opportunity, whether it's the honors college or additional scholarship consideration. Schools that have some special resource that's in, more demand than supply will have a priority deadline. If that matters to you, if you are considering that program, make sure you meet it.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how far in advance you meet it. It could be the day before, but meet it for maximum consideration for that special program or that special scholarship.
Love it. This is so great. Becky, thank you for joining the podcast. I love it. You've been
big
super
hug. It's so
helpful.
good to see you. Thanks for spending the time on this lovely day.
Absolutely. So again, thanks to Becky. Thanks to all my guests. Next week, Ian is hosting. He's going to be talking about the University of Florida. He's also going to be talking about the facts of the SCOTUS ruling. So we're separating the facts from the feelings and really talking about what the impact we see potentially is. Don't forget, leave a review for us on Apple Podcasts. The more we get, the easier it is for others to find us. And if you have questions, send them to us at Facebook, on Instagram. You could email them to us, gettingin.voiceamerica@gmail.com. And we are here every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific.